Welcome back. Last week we talked about our body and what happens as we get older and our hormones change. This week we're talking about our brain. So what's really going on? There's two things. First of all, there's the impact of our hormones. As we go through perimenopause, we find we experience things like brain fog, mental fatigue, sometimes even hormonal headaches. And then there's the aging process that just as our body ages, so does our brain. So when the hormones change, this affects our brain energy and blood flow. So this is why we tend to get a lot mentally fatigued than we did previously. So we might find that, problem solving, trying to work with numbers, things like remembering things become a lot harder. We have to work harder and we get tired mentally. It also can affect our memory. More often our short-term memory, right? We just can't recall that word or that thing or that person's name. Other things that can happen is difficulty focusing, that we find we easily get distracted, that we don't seem to be able to stick with something and see it through to the end. We seem to kind of find our attention wavering all the time. We can find it difficult to problem solve. So this can be just in decision making, but it can also be in your work, especially if you're dealing with complex concepts or, for example, numbers, all right? It can be quite more challenging than it was previously. And you may find that due to the hormonal changes, your moods are affected. The progesterone and the testosterone can make us more teary, feeling sad, feeling blue, feeling angry, having a short fuse. All of these things kind of give us that hormonal roller coaster, that emotional roller coaster, all right? So there's a lot going on in our brain as our hormones change. And then, of course, none of these effects are permanent. All right, this is really important to know because I get a lot of women who are quite worried, especially if things like dementia or Alzheimer's run in the family, that this is kind of the beginning of the end, the beginning of the cognitive decline, and it's not. These things are not permanent. There are no structural changes to the brain during perimenopause. This is simply due to the washing machine of hormones. And when you come out the other side, as you balance your hormones through the program, and as you start to feel better, you'll find that your head will start to clear. You'll get your sharp mind back. I know I did. I struggled a lot early on with all these things that I've been talking about. I was quite worried. It was really stressful, especially with my work. But as I started to feel better, as my hormones became more balanced, I got all my cognitive powers back. So you will too. And remember, there's just the normal process of aging, right? So as we get older, it does become harder to think clearly and think sharp like we did when we were younger. We can still perform as well, but we have to work harder at it. That's the key, all right? We can do just as well as we did in our 20s and 30s, but we have to put more effort in. And I'm going to help you with this in today's session. So how to stay sharp as you're getting older, as your brain is changing. I want to give you some really important tips. And the first one is that I want you to shift gears. Now, if there's one thing that you take away from today's video, it's this. But I want you to go from the old way, the automatic, comfortable way of thinking and doing things into the adaptive and flexible and open. This is the biggest thing you can do for keeping your brain young, is staying open to change and new ideas and willing to try different things. It's this process of being willing to learn, to grow and to change that keeps those new neural pathways firing, all right? Keeps your brain young. If you're stuck in the old way of thinking and the old way of doing things all the time, your brain will age a lot more quickly. Right, so we know that change isn't easy. That's the whole theme of this series and why I'm helping you. So let me give you some important tips, all right? These are really good things. So the first thing is to keep learning new things, all right? And it's easier said than done. By the time we get to where we are now, we've learned a lot of stuff and we've worked out what works and what doesn't work, and it's comfortable to kind of just continue on in the automatic way of doing things. And often the thought of learning something new can be quite overwhelming. So break it down into little bite-sized things. You don't have to take on Mount Everest, all right? Just little learnings can make a big difference. And I've recently started using a great little app called Peak on my phone. And Peak, I'll put the link under this video, and it's got lots of little games that you can do, and they're actually fun. I've tried a lot of these apps, and this is by far the best one. There's language, problem solving, memory stuff, focus, mental agility, emotional stuff. There's even some relaxing games. I played one last night. It was really fun, designed just to relax you right in the evening, and very calming, but still kind of getting your brain working. So these are really short little games, and maybe only take a couple of minutes, 3 minutes, but you're learning something new. You're problem solving, and it's fun at the same time. It's just, 2 minutes, 3 minutes here and there, once or twice a day makes a really big difference. Of course, taking on bigger challenges or things that you've always wanted to do is even better, there's so many things, don't feel like because you're older, you can't learn something new, and it's what you're passionate about: a second language, music, a musical instrument, knitting, quilting. Crikeys, go to a cooking class. The list is endless. Go to a ballet class, right? I did a year of ballet, when I was 49 or 50, I think I was, right? For the first time. It was really challenging, but really fun. And it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, all right? And that helped me grow and keep my brain young. The next thing is read a real book daily. Now, this is a fantastic tip. It's so easy to do. Now, because we're so used to looking at the computer, our iPad, our phone, like swiping, social media, it's all these little bite-sized pieces of information, like baby food, right? Little scoops of baby food that just, make it so easy to consume. That's a goal. All right, of all this online stuff, okay? And so what we need to do when we take a book, because you're reading a paragraph and a page, your brain has to work harder. It has to hold the concentration. It has to process the words and information and create the pictures in your head, all right? And it requires a higher level of cognitive engagement and involvement, which is really good for your brain. So I went through a phase of not reading any books for quite a long time because I was so online so much. And when I started reading again, I was really shocked to find that after a page or two, I found my mind wandering. It just wouldn't stay focused, right? Because I hadn't practiced reading for so long. And it was a bit of a wake-up call. And I thought, oh, wow, I've been spoiled with all these little baby food scoops of information and little articles we can dip into and short videos. And my brain had lost that ability to maintain the concentration. So I made it a habit to read a little bit every day, to read a real book. And within no time, boom, back came my concentration. A really good thing to do with your brain. So keep a book by your bed, maybe in the car when you've got to go and pick up the kids or you're waiting. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. You'll be amazed. The next thing is to use lists and reminders. So some women think, I don't want to depend on lists and reminders because I'll lose my ability to remember things. That isn't true. The research shows that when you use lists and reminders, it improves your memory. Just the fact of writing it down, making a reminder, using your phone. Use your phone for reminders. I use both, my phone and a notepad. And I find that I actually remember stuff because I've actually taken the time to put it in my phone or write it down. So it actually improves your memory, right? It removes the chaos, the disorganization, and the overwhelm. So I'm a massive one on reminders and lists, all right? So start trying it out, okay? Use a calendar, electronic calendar, whatever works for you. Try something out and let me know how it goes. Now, here's the traps to avoid. The first thing is really important. Don't multitask. Now, as women, we have this amazing ability to juggle all the balls, right? And to multitask, especially when we're younger. We've got the kiddies, we've got 101 things going on. Maybe you have even that now. And we get used to juggling a lot of things. But that dissipates our energy and focus. And also it's riskier, because we're more likely to drop something and make a mistake. So where possible, focus on one task at a time. Don't jump around. Don't get distracted. Don't try to do 3 or 4 things at once, because you're diluting your output and energy. You'll get a much better result by focusing on one thing and giving it your full attention. Now, for some of us, this is a big change, right? I know it was for me. But as I worked on it, I got better and better and better. And I found my ability to problem solve, concentrate, achieve results and success dramatically improved as I reduced the amount of tasks that I was trying to do at one time. And this kind of leads into the next thing, is not to give up on a task. All right. So as we get older, it is harder. We have to work harder. And because it is harder, it's easier to give up. Right? So let's just take an example. You get something from IKEA, you order something, a table, a bookcase, a little thing. You have to put it together. You have to read those instructions, get all the little tools out, put it all together. It's a bit of a headache, right? Now, you have to maintain your concentration through that whole task. It's really easy to get sidetracked, right? The phone is ringing, the kitchen, a cup of tea. Oh, what about that? Isn't that the classic? You sit down to do something and all of a sudden you remember something you have to do. There's so many distractions, and diluting our focus isn't helping our brain to stay young. If we discipline our brain and say, no, I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to finish the task. I'm not going to get distracted. I'm going to do this one thing to the end until it's done. And this is a skill that I've developed in my work. And when I go to do a task, I discipline myself and say, Belle, stick with it until it's finished, within reason. Sometimes you have to break it up into sections, okay? But I don't let myself get distracted. So if I'm working on the computer all day, you can imagine there's lots of distractions. There's emails, there's Facebook, there's this, there's that, there's message, whatever. It's really easy to click away from what I'm doing and waste time on stuff, right? And not finish the task. So I'm really laser focused and I go, okay, Belle, stick with it. Stay with it. I can feel my brain chugging. It wants a break. It wants to let go. It wants to go and do something easier, right? Okay, because that's our human nature. But I make myself stick with it, and you'll break through. It's like the runner when they get that kind of fatigue, but if they keep going, they get the second wind, you'll break through and you'll finish the task. And guess what? The more you do it, the more you practice it, the easier it gets. Alrighty, so the next steps, I've got a couple of things I'd like you to do this week. I want you to read a real book daily, even if it's just 5 minutes. It can be anything, a magazine, just a physical something, right, that you're reading. Put it somewhere that maybe it's in the bathroom, okay? Maybe when you have to go to the loo, all right? Read 5 minutes. All right, you'll be amazed how at the beginning, if you're not used to it, how difficult it is, and 2, how you start to enjoy it, and your brain is working in a different way than the electronic delivery of information. And this is so important for us to keep our brain young. And the next thing is, I want you to practice sticking with a task and finishing it, all right? Just something this week, all right? So say you've got something that's a bit challenging, it's not something you've been looking forward to doing, or it's a bit hard and you're like, okay, remember what Belle said? I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to be like that rock wheeler, right? I'm going to hang on and I'm not going to let go until it's finished. And you'll have a tremendous sense of satisfaction and achievement, and also a kind of affirmation that, okay, I've still got it. I'm young in my brain. I can stay young cognitively for many, many years to come. But just like we have to exercise our body to stay young, we have to exercise our brain. If we get lazy, sluggish, we're taking the baby food in all the time, we're going to get older mentally. Okay, that's a given. If we exercise our brain just with a few little exercises each day, we're going to stay young mentally for many, many years to come. Alrighty, and the third thing is think about something new you'd like to learn. Okay, now you don't have to start learning it, but just have a little think and think, hey, what could I do to kind of expand my knowledge and skills? It's one little thing. It can be just a tiny thing. It could be just getting the app that I've mentioned and playing a few little games and learning something new. It's that cumulative effect of these little things every day and every week that make a big, big difference over the years. So remember, just like we have to exercise our body to stay young and feeling fit and healthy, we need to exercise our brain, all right? So I want you to get busy and try some of these things this week, and please let me know how it goes. I'd love you to post below this video, alrighty? So have a great week, and I'll see you next time.
Play the next episode now or view the full series. For menopause nutrition plans and coaching support, join my YouTube members area. You'll find the link below this video.